Guys, we did it. 10,000 subscribers. 10,000! 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so who has to clean this up? To celebrate 10,000 subscribers, I bought a bottle of champagne that cost 10. Am I drinking champagne out of a novelty glass meant to hold an entire bottle of wine? Maybe. Is that because it's my only glass? Shut up. I think there's confetti in this. I mean, tastes like success. Let's do this. So before we jump into the questions, I want to go over some announcements first. So as you may or may not have noticed, I've commissioned new channel art. All of this was done by the amazing geothebio. I have links to their stuff in the description below. Along with all of this amazing art comes a new intro for my regular series. Let's take a look. At some point, I'm going to commission someone to come up with like a song or a ditty for it. But for now, just imagine something super catchy is there. Anyway, I want to make it clear, I am not abandoning the AKA intro completely. I'm not abandoning it. I love it. I love dressing up in the costumes. I love making dumb jokes. I love taking your guys' suggestions. Unfortunately, they're just really time consuming and they slow down video production and can honestly get a little bit expensive. With this new intro, I'll be able to put out episodic content more regularly so you don't have to wait months between your favorite Let's Plays anymore. It'll also allow me to start creating more varied content. Like now I can make short 5 to 10 minute videos about like my analysis of a scene or a character or like observations or video game rankings or things like that without having to worry about a costume every single time. I haven't yet figured out how often I want to keep doing the AKA intros, so if you guys have suggestions for like a timeline you want to see, just let me know. Also, and I cannot stress this enough, keep sending in AKA suggestions. I cannot make AKA intros without your suggestions, so if the suggestions go away, then I won't be able to do any AKA intros at all. Any costume or character or joke you got, just throw them at me. I mean, like, figuratively throw them at me. My peripheral vision's not great and I don't feel like getting smacked in the head, so figuratively throw them at me in the comments. All right, moving on from all that, let's dive into the Q&A. It's just really flattering to know that you guys cared like about who I am as a person and what my thoughts are, so thank you. And with that in mind, let's get to the first one. And the first question is... oh. Yes. How did I come up with the AKAs in the first place? Excellent question. There's a podcast I listen to called The Adventure Zone. So whenever the podcast would go to commercial break, one of the guys would say just like a funny random line like, "Hi, I'm Griffin McElroy. I'm your best friend. I'm your personal chef. I'm your president werewolf." Werewolf president, I think it was. Anyways, the point is he would say like a random line there, and I don't know why, I just thought that was really charming and I enjoyed it. So that's what inspired my idea. So instead of doing a one-liner, I decided to do a miniature skit, because my sister and I always used to do really dumb comedy bits when we were little. And to make it more fun for you guys, I wanted to take your ideas to do it. I do have to also say thank you to my sister, because she and I would do a lot of like really silly and dumb comedy sketches when we were younger that were honestly basically just rip-offs of the Amanda Show. But I was able to channel that goofiness into this. What are your favorite animals? Elephants and pandas. If you could choose any video game character to be your best friend, who would it be? Super easy, Elizabeth from BioShock. First of all, she's constantly throwing me money. Second of all, she can open portals to other dimensions, which basically means free trips 24/7. What is the angriest you've ever been, and what pissed you off? For some reason, the first event that popped into my mind is this thing that happened in kindergarten. I'm sure I've been angrier, in fact, I know I have, but this one just really sticks out. So in kindergarten, we had a letter of the week every week, as you do, and every time it was my turn for show and tell, I always made sure to match what I brought to that letter of the week. My friend Audrey accidentally did it once, and the teacher brought her up to the front of the classroom, gave her accolades, talking about how smart she was, how blah 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 she was, gave her stickers, and also let her pick out a toy from the toy chest. Me being the precocious brat I was who had a desperate need for validation, I raised my hand and pointed out I had done the same thing every week. The teacher looked at me and said, "Nobody likes a braggart." I learned what the word braggart meant that day. I am still, to this day, furious about this. Audrey, if you're watching this right now, you are fucking dead. Fuck, marry, kill, Kratos, Spider-Man, and Arthur Morgan. Spider-Man, married. I don't think Arthur would be willing because of the whole marry thing. Even though I like him more as a person, and I would choose him, and people who try to kill Kratos don't really fare that well, if we're being honest, so I guess I'd have to fuck Kratos and kill Arthur?
Kratos.
You know what? Nope, I'm set. Not really into that whole quick time event. So I'm going to try to fuck Arthur, and when I get rejected, I can go to Kratos, try to assassinate him, and get killed. So that sorts out that problem.
You bilingual?
Unfortunately, I am not. Puedo hablar un poco de español, pero no lo suficiente para tener una conversación filosófica. What gave you the idea to call your YouTube channel this name? This one's easy. I had friends who called me Allie B. I had friends who called me Mac. So together, alliebeemac.
How do you make instant ramen, and what's your favorite flavor?
I'm lazy, so I normally just put water in an electric kettle, let it boil, then pour it over the ramen in a bowl. My favorite flavor is one of these guys. I can't remember which one exactly, but it's pretty damn good. Your favorite kind of socks? Fuzzy, colorful socks. I do like the occasional mid-thigh high socks with certain dresses or skirts, but the key here is comfort.
Do you ever have a day where you feel like shite?
Constantly.
What's your favorite food?
This is kind of a cop-out answer. I'm gonna have a few of these. Really depends on my mood. The few that come to mind are mango, pasta carbonara, paneer makhni, and chocolate-covered strawberries.
What is your favorite weapon?
My sharp wit. Oh my god, I'm gonna get murdered by a mugger because I'm trying to crack jokes. How many people have you killed?
Who said to you?
What's got you into gaming, and what was the first game you played? I was hooked onto gaming the first time I got my hands on a game. I was like 5 or 6. It was either Pokemon Crystal or Super Mario 64. I don't remember which is first. I do remember that my parents bought them used because they didn't want to waste money on something that wasn't intellectually stimulating. Joke's on you, parents. That's all I spend my money on now.
Oh, I make such poor life choices.
Can you give a tour of your home? That would require my home to be in perfect condition, and that's just not gonna happen. Do I have any pets, and how's Zoe doing? Well, I wrapped those two into one because I have a pet. It's a dog. Her name is Zoe. She's a yellow lab. She's 10. She's perfect and wonderful, and I love her so much. She is with my dad right now because my dad needs her more, but I miss her to pieces, and I was able to see her over the break.
Was there a specific game that made you want to try out live streaming?
The Walking Dead series is actually what made me get into Let's Plays in general. As for live streaming, I sort of fell into it. After I started streaming Subnautica, I was hooked. Honestly, I wouldn't go back and watch like any of my old streams though. I paused almost constantly and always talked over cutscenes. I really didn't know how to do the chat balance. I do still talk over cutscenes a lot though. So,
will you do vlogs?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it. People are here, I assume, to watch me play video games, so I don't even know how much interest there would be in vlogging in the first place. I'm not gonna rule it out for the future, but I'm not actively pursuing it.
Would you ever play a game with fans or one of your YouTube mods just asking?
I would love to do that at some point. You guys know I'm not super into multiplayer games. They're not really my thing. If it was a private server with you guys, it might be fun. If anyone has any suggestions for games, let me know. Why did you decide to make videos? The answer to that is fairly simple. I'm obsessed with video games, and I talk way too much. This kind of seemed like the natural culmination of those two traits. Also, I loved making videos when I was a kid. I got this kid's camera for Christmas one year that came with a child's video editing program. For years, my sister and I would make dumb comedy videos. Like I mentioned earlier, it was a complete ripoff of The Amanda Show. We hadn't seen SNL at that point. Complete with like fake commercial breaks for fake products that we invented. Our videos were probably shit, but it was a good time, so. The Walking Dead Season 1 is actually what got me interested in Let's Plays in the first place. After finishing the season, I was emotionally devastated and went online to see if other people felt the same. Watching other people react to a story that I had found so powerful was honestly an amazing experience. It made me kind of fall in love with Let's Plays. I didn't start my channel till years later, but that's what planted the seed. And if I'm being honest, I'm sure that this is an exercise in narcissism in some way because I think my thoughts and voice and opinions are important enough to go on the internet. We're all massive narcissists. How long have you been a streamer? I'm not sure about just streaming, but I know I've been on YouTube for over a year and a half at this point. What's your Hogwarts house? I have always been either a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw. I've gotten both results multiple times, so I don't know. Although when I got older, I do want to say that I realized Hogwarts sorting system is kinda shit. Don't encourage students to become well-rounded individuals by introducing them to a bunch of other people outside of their own personality types. No, why would you do that? Just pigeonhole them to one specific thing for the rest of their life and surround them with like-minded people. Ensure they have very little opportunity for personal growth. This is why Slytherins are wizard Nazis. They had no chance. When you're constantly being told you're evil by every other kid at your school, and the only people around you are racist shitheads, well, you really are probably not gonna turn out super great. It's kind of on you, Hogwarts. What game has impacted you the most? This is kind of a big question. I mean, in what way? Honestly, a game that had a huge impact on my life isn't much of a normal game. It's like a choose your own adventure kind of game. It was called Depression Quest. And I don't really want to get into that right now, but yeah, it had a huge impact. Beyond that, I would say Pokemon and Super Mario 64 because they are the games that started my obsession with video games in the first place. I kind of stopped playing video games for a while in high school. So freshman year of college, I saw that the BioShock series was on sale in a bundle. I had heard so much about it through the internet, like people were talking about it constantly and referencing it all the time, that even though I really hadn't played a video game in a while, I decided to buy it. It was late, my library is open 24/7, but I figured I'd play the game for a little bit, just see if I liked it, and if I didn't, you know, I only lost a couple dollars. I did not leave the library until 11 a.m. the next morning. I missed my morning classes. That was the beginning of the end, and my obsession blossomed anew.
Who got you into gaming?
That would be Santa, as he's the one who gave me Game Boy Color. Or my mom for getting me Pokemon Crystal, or possibly my dad for Nintendo 64. Either way, Santa, my mom, my dad, probably. Is Santa real? Of course, otherwise I wouldn't have gotten a Game Boy Color from him.
Also, he made an appearance in one of my videos, so...
What's your ethnicity? I'm half white, half Hispanic.
Do you attend college?
I'm on a little break right now. I'll be back in the fall, but I've got about 1,000,000 years of schooling to get through, so the answer for a while is gonna be yes.
What was your first Rockstar game?
GTA 5, it did not go great. You can find my very short live stream attempt on YouTube. Suffice to say, I was, first of all, shitty at the game, but second of all, really morally conflicted about shooting like police officers and bank security guard dudes who like just were trying to do their jobs, so.
Have you ever considered creating a Patreon? Would love to be able to support you.
I've thought about it, but doing live stream donations and Patreon seems kind of like overkill. I'm not sure how much interest there would be, and it seems like most people tend to do one or the other, and I've already started doing stream donations.
Congrats on 10K. What's your Chinese zodiac?
You're trying to figure out how old I am. Clever, I grant you, but still.
What is your favorite game?
For me, favorite isn't like one single game, it's a tier. Like I always say, thanks to Mindy Kaling, I always say best friend isn't a single person, it's a tier. I don't like a lot of games. It's very biased and just based on my experience or things I loved. So these are the ones that come to mind. That is not a comprehensive list.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's the plan for the future?
That's a big question. That's a big question. I'm gonna need some more alcohol before I answer this one, so just give me a second. Okay, honestly, I don't know. I used to have a 5-year plan. I had a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan. I knew exactly what I was gonna do, but stuff kind of fell to shit. So here I am. I think I need another drink.
Who's your favorite superhero?
In no particular order, we have Spider-Man, Captain America, Deadpool, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, don't at me, she's a hero in her own run of comics right now, Jessica Jones, and the Teen Titans from the original Cartoon Network series. Side note, I had a major crush on Robin, like, huge. God, just look at those eyes. So beautiful. When will there be Allie merch? That's a good one. The real question is there an interest for it? Honestly, the idea of people wanting to wear my merchandise is... my brain just can't comprehend it. So I need to know if there's an interest first before I create anything. How tall are you? Biggest pet peeve as a tall girl. Can you dunk? I am 5'11". That is pretty fucking tall. I can't dunk for shit, but in high school, I was captain of the basketball team. Honestly, it wasn't because I was skilled, it's because I broke up fights. But I was still captain, so pet peeves as a tall girl. I don't normally like tall girls, but I'm into you. Wow, thank you for deigning to be attracted to me. Wow, amazing, the sacrifice you're making. Or, you know, most people aren't into tall girls, but I am. Like, you're doing me a goddamn favor. Hey, bud, you trying to neg me? An adult woman. You trying to neg me? Really? Do you think you're slick? If you're not trying to neg me, then what the fuck are you doing, bud? You realize you're being real fucking condescending, right? Or, people telling me who I can and cannot date because of height. First of all, don't tell me who I can and cannot be interested in. Is it nice if someone's tall? Sure. Is it a requirement? No. The amount of complete strangers I've had come up to me and tell me their opinions on who I can and cannot date is just astounding.
If you didn't do YouTube, what profession would you be in right now? And do you do YouTube full time?
No. No, I do not do this full time. I'm about 990,000 subscribers away from that being feasible, but I appreciate your faith in me. I do have an actual job. I used to just teach ESL students, but now I also work with our school's homeless student program. We work with the homeless families in our school district to get them clothes, food, shelter, things like that. Do you like going to school? And how was school? School is/was/hopefully will be good. What kind of setup do you have? It's messy as fuck. It's part of why I won't do a room tour. This monitor right here is actually sitting on my PS4, and the monitor to my right, it's much smaller, is sitting on a printer, and my ring light right here wouldn't stand on its own on my desk, so I have a wooden box full of knitting supplies that I stuck the light in and it's sticking out of. So my setup is kind of a hot mess, but it works, so. If you had one wish, what would you wish for? Are infinite wishes out of the question? If I can't do that, then I'd wish for incredible luck in all things. Playing the lottery, guessing answers on a test that I don't know, accidentally finding the cure for cancer when I just left bread out and oh no, oh, the cure for cancer has grown on my bread. Have you ever wished you could go back to the past? Hell yes. However, I would probably get burned at the stake as a mouthy witch very quickly. What is the longest game you finished before? Probably Skyrim or Fallout 4. I have, I think, literally hundreds of hours in both of those. Modded the shit out of them. What games are you looking forward to? What are your thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? I'm excited for it. It is on my list of games I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to RDR2's DLCs, Resident Evil 2, The Last of Us Part 2, and honestly a lot of other games that I just can't remember right now. I'm excited, it's gonna be a good year. What are your aspirations for this channel? 10 billion subscribers! Is that more than the amount of people on this planet? Maybe, but I say aim high, otherwise what's the fucking point?
What was your childhood like? Well, it started on a cold morning. It was February 9th, 19...
I don't know, dude. It's such a broad question that has to cover like a huge period of time. I don't want to bore people with too many details, so I'll just say overall, I had a grand old time. Any rock bands you into or any other music for that matter? So, I'm gonna be completely honest. I listen to podcasts more than I listen to music. I like all the generic stuff that everyone else does. I know, very boring of me. Besides that, I do this thing where I get obsessed with like one specific album for a period of time and then listen to it ad nauseum until I find a new obsession. It can literally be any genre, like there's no rhyme or reason to it. Ella Fitzgerald phase, Hamilton the musical phase, Dark Side of the Moon phase, Beatles #1 hits phase, Some Nights phase, And right now I'm obsessed with the soundtrack to Heathers, which my poor Discord mods can attest to. It's a satirical look at the Mean Girls trope and actually turns into a high school serial killer story. It's pretty damn funny. What's your stream schedule? I don't really have one. I try to stream on weekends, but unfortunately I can't be as regular as I would like, so I kind of just get streams in whenever I can because I'm really busy with like work and school and friends and volunteering and blah 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 blah. Favorite protagonist ever can be from anything: video games, movies, books, etc. If you can't think of an all-time favorite, what's a protagonist you really like? I appreciate the wiggle room. You know me well. I fell in love with fictional characters at an astounding rate. Elizabeth Bennet is the first person who pops to mind, but I could be biased because Pride and Prejudice has been my favorite book since I was about 10 years old. Other than that, honestly, it's a character from a YA book series called Throne of Glass. I can't even give you the character's name because it's too many spoilers. I love her because she subverts so many tropes that YA protagonists tend to fall into. And watching her evolution as a character over this series of books is, I mean, incredible. Have you ever been on a date as awkward as the Arthur Mary one? Yes. It's from when this guy decided to ask me to prom my junior year of high school. He was very nervous, and when I said yes, he got really excited and like pumped his fist in the air and like kind of went to go hug me, but then he got nervous again, and instead of hugging me, he said high five and put his hand out for a high five. It was honestly very endearing. What's up? What's up? Around how old are you? 1,000 years old. Impressive, I know. Most people wouldn't guess a day beyond 500. Do you read comics, and what comics if so? I read comics, though I read fewer than I used to. I'm not usually like tied to a particular run. I tend to just pick up issues that catch my eye or that I've heard have a really good story. Couple of Deadpool ones, couple of Spidey ones, couple of Deadpool Spidey crossovers. I read several in Wonder Woman's original run, which was an experience, and I've read a couple of hers in the New 52. I've read a handful of Harley Quinn series. I also tend to read landmark issues like the Amazing Spider-Man 121 and Injustice Year 1 Part 1 and just like big events like that. What are you watching on TV these days? Honestly, too many shows to name, which probably isn't a great thing to admit. I don't like quiet, and oftentimes music isn't enough, so I almost always have like a podcast or a TV show on in the background, so I watch a lot of TV. My current favorite show like this very second is probably The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but holy shit, it's actually really funny. Like everyone else, I'm waiting for Game of Thrones to come back, and like here's just some other shows that I watch, and that's definitely not a comprehensive list. If you could have any one creature exist from any medium, such as mythological games or stories, which one would you want to exist? It's a good one. Maybe phoenixes for their healing tears? Maybe Pegasi, maybe brownies. If I leave them a bowl of milk, they'll do all my chores, and that seems like a pretty cool exchange. As cool and amazing as giant beasts like dragons are, I'm really not trying to bring death lizards into existence because I know my ass would be the first thing that catches on fire. Mermaids are cool as hell, but we've already like really fucked up the ocean, and if the ocean could yell at us, I just don't think that's gonna go great. Like for us. What is your favorite movie? This is one of those things that like just changes depending on my mood, but right now at this very second, I'd say Breakfast at Tiffany's. Do you cosplay? I don't cosplay per se, but some of my AKA intros have required very intricate costumes. Will you go to Disney World with me? Fuck yes, when you want to go. Favorite nonfiction book? Maybe The Indifferent Stars Above, or A Room of One's Own, or The Emperor of Maladies. What's something you'd like to do for a career, if not a YouTube? Pediatrician, I'm actually working towards that right now. All right, so it is 1:43 in the morning and I'm tired as fuck, so we're just gonna take these last ones and just kind of quick fire our way through them, okay? So, never, nope, yes, not sure what you mean, never watched it, seems fun in theory, don't have it, so I don't know anything about it, no, yes, Injustice, skip, free tour, field hockey. Okay, so that is the end of the questions you guys have submitted. Thank you so much for sending all those in. So before we wrap up, I just have to say thank you. This is gonna be like that part in PBS where they're like, to viewers like you, thank you. But like longer and more drawn out and unnecessary. Seriously though, thank you to every subscriber. I quite literally could not have done this without you guys. Seeing that people actually like the content I create, or interacting with you all on live streams or getting messages about how I've made your day better. Every single one of those things means the world to me. I know that for a YouTuber, those are cliche as fuck things to say, but they're still true. I always joke about YouTube just being an exercise in narcissism, and to a certain extent it definitely is, but the more I do this, the more I just fall in love with sharing my experience with you guys and having you guys share your experiences in return. And it's cheesy as fuck to say that, but I'm fucking cheesy, so. I have to say a special thank you to everyone who has ever donated or become a member of my channel. Just thank you. I'm gonna go broken record with this again, but it's true. I literally could not do this without you. I wouldn't have a PS4 without you guys. I wouldn't have been able to afford a new desk when I needed one. So I would have been playing video games on the floor. Like, there's just so many things that I like, this is only possible because of you. And again, I don't think I'll ever stop being shocked that people like me enough to give me money for what I'm doing, and I'm just so grateful, and I hope you know that. My final thank yous are gonna go out to my mods, to all of my YouTube mods, thank you, and all of you guys should be grateful to them too, because without them, I would not be able to talk to you guys, because as much as I love YouTube, sometimes chat can be unbearable and there's trolls and there's stuff, and the only reason I can interact with you the way that I do is because I've got amazing and vigilant mods. I have to say an extra special thank you to my Discord mods. They put up with me complaining and whining. I'm constantly dropping thumbnails and asking for their opinions. They help me pick the artist for the new art on my channel. They offer advice when I need it. They make Discord manageable. They do so many things, and I love them so much. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Silvara. Thank you, Gavin is Lame. Thank you, Ghost Joker. Thank you, Matt Watson. Thank you, Super Positive. Thank you, Dami. And thank you, Coffee Life. And again, thank you to every single person watching this. I love you, and I will see you all again very soon.